Let's talk about the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra leaks, specifically the claim that Samsung is switching to a massive 4mm punch hole for the front camera to improve group selfies. It's a buzzy rumor, but it doesn't line up with Samsung's design history, panel engineering, or the optics needed to make selfies meaningfully better. If you've seen that largest ever Infinity O cutout headline, here's why it probably won't happen, and what you should actually expect from the Galaxy S26 Ultra before we chase the noise. It's worth remembering how Samsung has treated the Ultra line. The front should disappear as much as possible. The bezel should be tight, and the cutout should stay subtle. A conspicuously larger hole is the opposite of everything the Ultra brand has been building toward. First, Samsung's design language on its Ultra phones has been crystal clear for years. Smaller punch holes, tighter bezels, cleaner symmetry, and a more immersive display. From the S20 Ultra to the S25 Ultra, the visible cutout has steadily shrunk as display quality and camera integration improved. Reversing course with a visibly larger 4mm front camera hole would break the Ultra aesthetic for a marginal gain in field of view. A jump from roughly 80 degrees to about 85 degrees sounds dramatic on paper. But in real photos, it's a subtle framing change you can already achieve with a software wide selfie toggle, auto-framing when more faces enter the shot, and intelligent day warping. Samsung has invested heavily in computational photography for selfies. It's far more consistent for the brand to keep the cutout minimal, then widen the frame in software when needed, rather than enlarge the physical hole and disrupt the display. Ultra buyers expect restraint and refinement. The front should feel like pure screen, not a compromise for a tiny fub bump. Second, panel cutout size isn't the same as lens aperture. Early CADs and factory panels often exaggerate the visible hole because they show the glass cutout, ANTI reflective layers, a gasket, or a protective ring, not the final UI mask you'll see in shipping software. Pre-production parts also use oversized diagnostic cutouts that are tightened before mass production to improve yield and reduce light leakage. Measuring a test panel or render and calling it the retail punch hole is how leaks go wrong. With the Galaxy S26 Ultra, a slightly tweaked ring or coating could look like a bigger opening in leak photos, even if the actual camera aperture and on-screen mask stay compact. Samsung has also been known to adjust the software mask late in development to maintain symmetry across regions and panel vendors, further shrinking what you actually perceive. Third, the trade-offs don't add up. A larger selfie hole reduces usable status bar space, breaks visual symmetry, and draws the eye in bright conditions, especially on light UIs and full-screen video. It increases the chance of haloing around the ring under harsh lighting and can create more visible artifacts when watching content with letterboxing. And it doesn't guarantee better image quality. Wider FOV lenses tend to introduce more edge distortion, lower per subject detail, and can accentuate noise in low light, particularly on small pixel selfie sensors. Samsung's recent progress on the Ultra line has been about cleaner HDR stacking, faster autofocus, improved skin tone rendering, refined segmentation of hair and edges, and smarter day warp, not about widening the frame at the expense of clarity. If the Galaxy S26 Ultra aims to improve group selfies, you're more likely to see upgraded lens coatings to cut flare and ghosting, better face detection in mixed lighting, stabilization tuned for arm's length shooting, smarter auto cropping when more faces enter, and a dual mode selfie experience that seamlessly switches between natural and wide without touching the physical cutout. There's also the optics math. Moving from approximately 80 to approximately 85 changes the framing slightly, but human perception doesn't treat that as a major step up, especially once software corrects for barrel distortion and preserves faces. Modern phones already ship with two selfie profiles, a default crop that looks flattering and a wide toggle that uses more of the sensor's image circle. Samsung can extend that approach with less edge warping and smarter subject prioritization, giving you the feel of a wider shot without sacrificing detail or blowing up the hole. In other words, a smarter pipeline beats a bigger dot. On the display side, the rumored move to an M14 series, old, aligns with Samsung's trajectory of improving real-world readability rather than chasing spec sheet bragging rights. Even if peak brightness remains around 2,600 nits, pairing the panel with next-gen anti-reflective glass Think Gorilla Armor class coatings with lower reflectance delivers a bigger day-to-day win than a few hundred extra nits. Lower glare makes everything look brighter outdoors without cranking the backlight, preserves color accuracy in sunlight, improves black levels under ambient light, and reduces eye strain. That's the Ultra way. Fewer reflections, tighter bezels, smaller intrusions, not a supersized selfie hole. And because reflectance is what your eyes fight most in harsh light, a better coating can make the S26 Ultra feel brighter and clearer than rivals that simply chase a higher peak number. Rear camera rumors tell a similar story. Expect Samsung to keep the proven 200MP main and 50MP ultra-wide from the Galaxy S25 Ultra and focus on image pipeline refinement, lens quality, and stabilization. Talk of a revised 3x telephoto sensor doesn't automatically mean worse results, even if the component is physically smaller. Samsung often pairs modest hardware tweaks with faster lenses, better ISP and MPU denoising multi-frame fusion, and AI detail recovery to deliver sharper portraits and cleaner textures at 3x. The more plausible optical change is a wider aperture on the 5x. Periscope moving from f3.4 to something like f2.9, which would be a meaningful upgrade for low-light zoom, shorter shutter times, and steadier handheld shots at night. Add in improved AF tracking and less focus hunting when switching lenses, and you get real-world wins you'll notice on your first night out. Video is likely to improve where viewers feel it most. Less rolling shutter on the main and tele modules, steadier focus transitions that don't snap or breathe, more consistent exposure in night scenes, and a cleaner 4K 6.0 pipeline across lenses with 10-bit HDR. Expect better motion cadence, reduce micro jitter, and fewer color shifts when panning under mixed lighting. A brand new, unproven PV video codec taking over the whole stack in one cycle is unlikely. Codec rollouts need broad hardware decode support, editor compatibility, and platform adoption. Samsung typically squeezes more out of HEVC profiles and gyro-aided stabilization than layers on directional audio, wind reduction, and HDR refinements to deliver a noticeable jump in quality without breaking compatibility for sharing and editing. Ergonomics and charging are also part of the picture. A more comfortable, rounded silhouette for the Galaxy S26 Ultra is a reasonable expectation, maintaining a minimalist front while softening the edges in hand and improving pocket feel. Samsung can rebalance weight, tighten tolerances, and further reduce micro gaps around the frame to enhance durability without changing the Ultra's recognizable identity. Key 2 magnetic wireless charging makes sense as a quality of life upgrade, better coil alignment for more efficient power transfer, cooler charging curves, less wasted energy, and a stronger ecosystem of magnetic stands and in-car mounts. None of that conflicts with a small, subtle punch hole. All of it conflicts with the idea of making the hole bigger and more visually distracting on a device that prides itself on premium minimalism.